promises to be very, very interactive, right? Very, very interactive. It's a session where you would have questions and you can get answers to your questions, right? I can tell you for a fact that we have a top professional, a product leader on this call today that is, ready to, dish out knowledge for free, right? Many of these, opportunities come with some stipends, but I can tell you for a fact that, product pros are very particular about, giving back to, Africans and helping Africans transition into, tech. And I'm sure that, Ola Simeon shares the same vision, which is why, he agreed to, share this beautiful value, with us today. So let's just move on to the next part of the session today. So my name is Joseph Sadiq Lawal. I'm the founder and CEO of Product Profs, and I'm a practicing product manager. I work in the logistics industry, and I can tell you for a fact that product management is a tech field that I find very, very interesting. Why? Because we solve real life problems for people, for the human race, right? And how do we solve this problem? We solve this problem using tech, right? So I don't really want to say much about myself. Let's just move on to the main purpose of today's session, because guys, this session will be value packed, right? I actually had a conversation with one of my mentees earlier this week, and this guy told me that, Joe, I actually got a job that pays me in foreign currency, and that was very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting the fact that his growth rate is really, really fast, because he just started his product management journey not quite long. As I mentioned, he's my mentee, and he's somebody that I've been actually showing, steps. And I'm really, really, I feel really, really fulfilled and really happy to hear that, because, it's one thing to teach, and it's one other thing to see that you have people that you are trying to groom, do well in the ecosystem. And I'm really, really happy about that. So guys, I want to really confirm if you can hear me. Hope my network is fine. Hope you can hear me clearly. Please just drop in the chat box that you can hear me clearly. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that, Simon. Thank you, Jeffrey, for that. Okay, so I'll just quickly move on to why you should be here today, right? And the reason why you should be here today is because we are helping you transition, in fact, break into product management, right? I'm sure that you must have been hearing product management for a while. You have concerns, you have questions that are bothering you, right? And you need answers to these questions. And this, to make you understand, how you can transition into product management and find your foot, right? But you all have met me. I also want to meet you. My name is Joseph. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a product manager. I also want to meet you guys. I also want to meet you. So we're going to be doing a very short exercise in this session right now. And I'm going to drop in a format in the chat box. I'm going to be dropping my name. My name is Joseph. I'm joining from Lagos, and I'm a product manager. So I would like you to follow the format in the chat box. Let's all meet ourselves. Let's connect. You can never tell, what this can do for you, but I also want to meet you all, guys. So, keep it coming in the chat box. I want to meet you. My name is Joseph. I'm joining from Lagos. I'm a product manager. Okay, I see Ola is, joining from Lagos. It's also a product manager. It's actually nice, having you on the call, Ola. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to meet you all. I want to meet you Ademola. I want to meet you Christine, Ifeoluwa, Immaculata, Jeffrey, Jennifer, Olatunji, Olufolake, Somto. I actually want to meet you. Keep your introductions coming. Okay, great. I see Christine is joining from Lagos, operations manager. Beautiful. Oh, I see Jeffak is joining from Lagos, digital creative and broadcast director. This is beautiful. Ifeoluwa from Ogun State, product management newbie. Immaculata, customer service specialist. Beautiful. So guys, I really welcome you to today's session. Yes, Somto is a front-end developer. I think you're trying to probably reskill, or you're just curious about product management, which is very, very interesting. Okay, so guys, let's just move on to the main purpose of today's session. And I'll just show you the agenda of today's session, right? We're going to be talking about product profs. Yes, you must have probably seen product profs on your social media platform, so to say. You must have seen product profs on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, or Facebook, anywhere you've come across, and you want to probably know what product profs is all about. Then you're going to be meeting our guests, right? And we'll move straight into the panel session, and we go straight into the program structure and how we support our learners, right? Okay, so about product profs. Product Profs is a one-stop shop for everything no-code tech skills. But we actually are very, very particular about creating a niche and focusing on it. And this niche is the product-related tech skills. And when I mean product-related tech skills, I mean product management, I mean product design, I mean product marketing, I mean product testing, right? These are product-related tech skills, that don't require coding, right? But requires you to be able to use some very, very important tools and be able to help you strategize, lead people, communicate, right? We're not doing what every other edtech company is doing, right? We are actually focused on product-related tech skills. And the funniest thing is, and the interesting thing is, we actually help you transition into tech. If you're a newbie, you don't have any knowledge about tech, you don't have any knowledge about the tech industry at all, we can help you transition into tech, right? Or you are a professional, you already have years of experience, you want to move into tech, but you feel it will be difficult to transition into tech because you already have years of experience in a particular field. Don't worry, we can help you achieve that. Or you are a front-end developer, like somebody on this course said, he is a front-end developer. That's Somto. He's a front-end developer. You are looking to reskill. Oh, you're a front-end developer, you are a product designer, and now you feel like, oh, your interest is now in product management. We can help you reskill, right? And we can also help you upskill. Oh, you are an entry-level product manager, you just started your product management journey, or you're a product designer, or you're a product tester, a product marketer, you want to, improve your skills. We can actually help you achieve that. And we don't just do this for individuals. We also do this for organizations. We help you train your staffs to improve your productivity, right? If your staffs are well skilled, you get the best result out of them. So our trainers are present in over 3 continents. I can tell you for a fact that we have a cohort presently ongoing, right? There's a class ongoing right now. We have students in class, and we have professionals in practicing professionals in industry that are actually taking them in class. Who else do you want to learn from if not from top professionals that practice, that actually are in the industry and know the do's and don'ts of the industry? They actually understand what it means to fit into these roles, right? And we also focus on premium tech skills, right? I can tell you for a fact that product management, product design, product marketing, product testing are premium tech skills, right? For example, I'm a product manager, and I actually lead a dev team. I actually work with the developers, I work with the project manager, I work with the marketing guys to see how we can birth a beautiful product that will solve real life problem. Guys, I can tell you for a fact that many of those apps that you have on your phone solve real life problems. You have Bolt. If you have your banking app, they solve problems for you. You don't have to go to the bank to do the littlest things like making transfers, right? You can do it at the comfort of your home. Those products solve real life problems, and we product managers are the brain behind this, right? But product managers can't do it alone. They need product designers, to create the very beautiful, designs and experience for customers. We need the product marketers to, give the right messaging and positioning of the product. We need the programmers, the front-end guys, the back-end guys, to make sure that these, products are functional. When I mean functional, when you click a button, they respond to you and they do exactly what they're supposed to do, right? These are the kind of things that, product managers do and the product ecosystem is all about, right? So you have actually made product profs. I'm sure you must have questions already, but at the end of this session, right, at the point in this session, we will definitely give you the room to, ask your questions. right? You can ask a question and you definitely get answers to these questions. You get answers to these questions. So let's just move on. Please hold on 1 second. All right. So sorry for that. I had to quickly, fix something. Okay, so we have a guest, right? And this person is somebody I really respect a lot, right? Because for you to have grown to this point, in your career, to actually co-found a company and to be a chief product officer, right? This is like the highest point of being a product manager, right? And this is Ola Simeon, is the co-founder and chief product officer at TradeAlly, right? And Ola is actually here to, give some tips, give some insights into how you can, start your journey in product management. Start your journey in product management. Mic check, Ola, are you on the call?
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Ola. Thank you for, agreeing to do this with us.
You're welcome. Hello,
All right.
everyone.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining the call.
Okay, so Ola, it's really really good that to see that you've actually co-founded a company and you actually also at the peak point, the chief product officer at TradeAlly, right? And I'm sure that lots of people on this call are so interested in knowing your journey, how you got started, and how you got to this point. Would you like to give some insight to that?
Yes, for sure. Well, so my journey into product management is a bit, would I say, funny? So I started out as a risk management and then moved into fraud management. And this was at IntoSwitch. I was at IntoSwitch for about 8 to 9 years, where, like I said, I started out as a fraud management person, and then also risk management. So I had no technical or business or anything background towards product management. I've always been in charge of analyzing fraud data, support, and several other customer related issues at the time, right? However, I'm a very, very curious person. Even though I was in fraud management, I had the interest of, would I say, the customer at heart, and then also I had several interactions with the product management team. In fact, I would go to the product management team to know what exactly are you guys doing, because I always see the product managers just running up and down when there are issues, and then you see the product guy calling, trying to go to the support team, trying to get to the developer, and pretty much doing several things together. And that pretty much I grew some interest into that, and I tried to do some research into what product management was all about. I saw that there were some a little bit similarities between what I was doing as a fraud management person, because I was also interacting with, even though it was business to business at the time when I was managing for banks, for several merchants and all that. However, I saw that even as a fraud management person, I was analyzing data that could help banks, that could help customers ensure that they are not defrauded, right? And it's also similar to what product managers do. You analyze your customer data, get feedback from customers to know what exactly are their pain points, and from those pain points, try to fix those pain points. And if you're also very lucky, come up with some innovative ideas that may probably change your market, change your, pretty much grow customer acquisition, and several other things related to how you can grow your products. So along the line, I also had a mentor, right? And this is why I said this is funny, is because my mentor was also like a fraud management person. So we pretty much had the same story, same very, very, very similar story. He transitioned into product management very early, and he knew the pain point that I had, pretty much felt the same thing that I had felt a while before. He joined product management before me. So while still at IntoSwitch, there was an opening to join product management, and I won't believe everyone knows IntoSwitch. IntoSwitch is probably the largest fintech out of Nigeria, right? And before you can transition into product management, you have to know what you're doing. So for me, transitioning, even though I had a mentor that guided me through, that helped me with seeing how, I can channel some of the energies that I had. I also had to do a lot of research into what this role was about. In fact, before transitioning, I had to do several projects, try to do some presentations to the person leading product management at the time. As God would have it, so to speak. It eventually came, and I transitioned into product management. And since then, I've launched several products from QuickTeller, transitioning QuickTeller from the old QuickTeller into what you currently see, or the new face, or the modern QuickTeller that you have today. I also was the first API product manager for IntoSwitch, where I launched their developer console and several other technical products as well. From there, I went to an asset management company where I led digital transformation projects for the asset management company. A 26-year-old asset management company, had a lot of traditional processes, had a lot of legacy systems, so to speak. And I worked with a consultant to see how we transform that organization into a more digital one. From there, went to a bank as well. Was in charge of premium products, and then also agile delivery. I think throughout my experience, I think the banking one was probably the most interesting, because I joined when the bank had issues with launching products. Pretty much, it would take about a year or two before, there's an initiative, and then several bureaucracies, several internal whatever, right, would lead to delays in launching products. And then we introduced agile delivery, and within 3 months, 6 months, things that were taking 3 years to do, things were going out and all that. So right now, I'm co-founder for TradeAlly. TradeAlly is like an AI powered logistic management solution, and we are providing solutions for logistics service providers, shippers, carriers, pretty much trying to automate all operational management bottlenecks that you may have, and we're backing that with AI.
Oh, great.
So that's pretty much like a summary. I hope I didn't bore you so much.
No, not at all. I actually found everything interesting.
Yeah.
In fact, I see some hands are raised already. Olufolake. So the thing is, you can actually drop your questions in the chat box. You can raise your hand. You can take your question, right? Because I'm sure that the reason why you are on this call today is to ask questions, right? To get clarity. Olufolake, was that a mistake, or you actually want to ask a question? This, you can unmute yourself and talk. You can drop, a text in the chat box. So Ola Simon, thank you very much for, the way you actually introduce yourself. That journey is very, very interesting, and there's a lot of wealth in your process, in your journey, right? A lot of experience from different, organizations, and you actually held different capacities in the product management ecosystem, which I find very, very, very interesting and attractive. Thank you very much, Ola Simon. So there's a thank you. So there's a usual question, right, that I get from aspiring product managers, right? And this question is, what is the difference between a product manager, a project manager, and a product owner?
Okay. I would say there's a thin line between all three. But a project manager, and I think the most of the confusion is between project manager and actually a product manager. And I think it's because the way several organizations are run. In fact, there's also a comparison between product managers, project managers, and business analysts. It can go as complex as that in some organizations, and that's why a lot of people say, what exactly do product managers do? Because they are trying to separate all the different roles. But a project manager would typically get assigned a project. So let's say, for example, you want to implement a particular solution for a bank, and the project manager would be in charge of ensuring that that project runs fine, from maybe getting requirements from the bank or something. But one singular, well, don't let me say one singular, the differentiating factor, one of the differentiating factors between a project manager and a product manager is that a project manager moves from one project to the other. So it could be like a 2-month project, a 3-month project. It could even be a 1 year or 2 years project. So, however, the guy doesn't own the entire roadmap for the particular project or for the particular product. His time on the project is already defined. Once it's done, he moves to another project. However, a product manager, you can be a product manager for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You can be the one that actually took that product from initiation, from being just an idea, and running that particular initiative to where you document the requirements, to taking that particular requirement to design, and they develop a prototype, and from prototype to development, and pretty much owning the entire life cycle of the product. You may also be the one in charge of the product positioning. In a case where maybe there's no product marketing manager, for example, or there's no growth team or a marketing person, you can own actually doing product positioning. Product positioning basically means that how do you sell this product? Like, which market do you want to take this product? I'm trying as much as possible not to put too many technical terms so that we are all on the same page as to what I'm trying to describe. So product positioning is saying, how do you differentiate this product from whatever is in the market? How do you set this product aside? I mean, different from maybe your competition and all of that. For a product owner, however, and I think it's just a nomenclature thing for product managers and product owners. However, people would say that a product owner will fit into like an agile delivery process or an agile setting. And what does agile mean? Agile means that you are running your projects in, or your product delivery processes in different would I say batches, so that you've broken, so you know that you want to build this particular product, then you break it down into different segments, and how you deliver it in different segments is what you term agile in the most basic form. So a product manager may be the one in charge of that agile delivery process, or agile delivery methodology or framework, whatever it is, that is managing that product within that agile delivery framework. So that's pretty much like let me say, like a layman explanation.
Okay, Ola Simeon, thank you very much for that. So will you want to agree with the popular or common saying that product managers are like the CEOs of a specific product, right? Because they take a product from the inception stage to the market, launch, and to the market, and they don't still leave this product, right? Would you agree with that statement?
Do you know why I'm laughing? The reason I'm laughing is when I wanted to transition into product management, I mean, this was like 9 odd years ago or 8 odd years ago. And most of the books I was reading at the time would say the product manager is the CEO of the product, blah, 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 all of those things. And then you go into product management, you actually find out that you are not the CEO of the product, because you have a CEO, like a proper CEO of the product, right? However, you may be, depending on the level of the organization that you are, you may be in charge of the product strategy. You may be in charge of the product vision. You may be in charge of the roadmap. You may be, well, I would say you play a significant role in ensuring that that product actually grows, and then also the right product is being delivered to the customer or to the market. I mean, the CEO already has his own work cut out from getting investors. As a product manager, for example, you would not be in charge of getting investors for your product, for example. You may play a supporting role in that. You are not in charge of payment of salaries. I mean, at that point, you are not CEO. You know what I'm saying? But what CEO of the product basically means is that you play a significant role. You control the roadmap, you control the product strategy, you control the entire product vision, and like I said, you may also control the product positioning, where you don't have a marketing team, and several other things around the product. So that's how I'll describe it that way. But say you are the CEO, I think it's just a way to say you control a lot as a product manager.
All right. Thank you very much for that clarification. Thank you very much. So, so guys, this is an opportunity to ask questions, right? You remember this is a mentorship session where you get clarification to every of your concerns. And Ola Simon is here. I'm also here to give you lots of clarity that you yearn for in this session. So please drop your questions in the chat box. You can raise your hand. We can ask you to unmute and ask your questions. So please feel free to ask your questions. We want you to really gain a lot of value from today's program. All right, Toby, please, you can ask a question.
So not really a question, just learning from Ola and all he's sharing. It's quite insightful. Just trying to say that. Not really a question. Yeah, thank you.
All right, great. Great, Toby. It's really good to hear that. It's good to hear that you're getting value. Okay, so for the next question, right? We've actually mentioned how you transition into product management, how product management can actually help organizations build a very beautiful product and maintain their products, right? So another thing I would like to ask is, most people on this call may know, some people may not know, right? Do product managers code? And if they don't, what tools do product managers use?
Okay, that is a very good question. And I think this would boil down to the different types of product managers that we have. So product management is not necessarily you don't need to be a developer to be a product manager, so to speak. There are several types of product managers out there. There are business product managers. These are guys that do not code. They don't even understand anything about coding, right? However, they understand things around business strategy or product strategy, as the case may be. They know how to use data to be able to make informed decisions around products. They can get business requirements, customer requirements, and all of that. And then there are technical product managers. Technical product managers they might have some knowledge of coding, or they were developers that transitioned into product management. And then you also have data product managers. These are guys that maybe they were data analysts, and then they manage data related or big data related products. And I think this is a very new a very new type of product managers, where you have a data product manager. And then you also have product managers that are similar, pretty much related to business, where all they do is to just get requirements and then turn it to development. So you don't necessarily need to be a developer to even know code before you can be a product manager. However, depending on the organization, and this is from my own experience, because I moved from being a business product manager to being a technical product manager. Like I said, while I was at IntoSwitch, I transitioned. I was the first API product manager within the organization. So for you to be an API product manager, you need some technical knowledge of how to write code And those are the things I pretty much learned by myself. I pretty much learned how to code. Well, not deep level coding, but it's not like a developer will be saying one thing about coding and then I'll be totally lost, you know. Sometimes we even argue how a code should be, and not like I know that thing, but it's just from knowledge of that picked up from somewhere, and then we'll be arguing about all of that. So I learned the technicalities, or being a technical product manager, I can test APIs, can write little code and all of those things. So I would say that if you want to have a well-rounded experience as a product manager, you probably need to move from business to a more technical role, because of the interactions with developers. And I know developers do not necessarily like when product managers don't understand technicalities. In fact, they may faff you, so to speak, or pass you around. So developers, I know Somto is here. He knows what I'm saying. When a product manager doesn't know technical things, they might just pass the guy around and then delay, and all you'll be hearing is, oh, because of this, because of that, because of this. But when you already know that, hey, this is not supposed to take this long, this is how you're supposed to do it, and all of those things, then we're all on the same page and there's no faffing. You get.
Thank you very much, Ola Simon, for that. So I would just really want to add to this, because you mentioned some things that I can really relate with, right? When I started my product management journey, earlier, and there were some terms that my developers were using for me, and it was causing a lot of issues. Some of these things were causing delay in timelines, right? I had to sit myself down and just go and learn some of these terms, right? Because it really helps to improve productivity and reduce delay in timeline targets, right? So, for product managers, yes, I can tell you for a fact that it's not very, very important that you learn how to code, right? You can start your journey as a product manager without coding. But over time, you need to start understanding some of these technical terms at first, with your programmers. In fact, you need to be able to understand what they are doing, what can work and what can't work, so that you won't give them unrealistic timelines and tasks to do. And also it's very important that you're all rounded, as Ola said. You should be able to work with data too, right? Data, you can have a data team that generate data and analyze data, and as a product manager, you should be able to look into data to bring it back into your product development, to understand what the market wants, what your users want. And the marketing guys too, you have to work with them, because it's your product. You need to succeed. You have to sit with them if you don't have a product marketing manager on your team. Thank you very much for that response, Ola Simon. So I have a question from Odiri here, and Odiri is saying, how do you achieve product market fit?
Okay. That is an interest. Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
No, I actually wanted to say, we like to give some insight to that.
Yeah, definitely. That is an interesting question. And for the benefit of others that don't know what product market fit mean. So in simple terms, product market fit means that you've launched the product into the market and you have repeat customers, or you have, there's a popular saying that once you have like up to 7 customers, paying customers and repeat customers, you've achieved the product market fit, right? So in simple terms, like I said, product market fit means that you've launched the product in the market and you have customers that keeps coming back to use the product. If it's a product that is pretty much like a daily usage or a weekly usage, you have the same people coming every week, every day to use that product. So that's what it means for product market fit. But how do you achieve it? I would say, there are several ways in which you can achieve product market fit, and this is probably the most difficult part of the product, especially if you are in an industry that is very receptive to technology, or that is very hard to break in, or pretty much is you must probably spend a lot of money on marketing and all of those things. But simple ways in which you can achieve product market fit. I would say the first would be for you to be able to identify the target market, which you need to be able to know this product I'm launching, who is it for? What's the market size? The people in this particular market, how do they respond to changes in products? How would they accept your product, so to speak? And then also you need to have a compelling value proposition. What does that mean? Meaning that you are solving a peculiar problem. Pretty much like you're solving a problem that, so I mean, in my organization, we usually say, even for people, right? Are you a painkiller or you're a vitamin? So a painkiller means that people really do need you, right? And even as a person, are you even a painkiller? If you are somewhere, if you are removed from a particular setting, will people miss you and stuff like that? And are you a vitamin? And is your product a vitamin? Meaning that a vitamin is, I mean, either you are there or not, either the product is there or not, people won't really miss it, or the fact that your product is just complementing an existing process, really people can do without it and all that. So you need to determine what your compelling value proposition is. And this is not me saying that if your product is a vitamin, it can't grow. I mean, there are several products that are vitamins that are multi-billion-dollar products out there. Think about it. For iPhones, for example, is it a painkiller or a vitamin? If you look at it critically, it is not necessarily a painkiller. You can pick up a not so smartphone and use a phone, right? You can use, in fact, you can probably still continue with the old way of communication and all of those things. So vitamins can also be very compelling. However, what the proposition that you have behind your product determines how you achieve the product market fit. And then also one of the things that you need to do very well, especially when you've launched a product and it is not achieving the right product market fit, is for you to really know why exactly that product is not selling the way you initially expected it. You might have done a lot of research from the beginning, and then it's not just moving as you want. You need to go back, refine the product, maybe try to understand how the market is, what exactly does that market want, and try to refine that product in a particular way. Maybe it's in terms of the onboarding, maybe it's in terms of the user experience within the product and all of those things. And then I think one last thing, there are several other things, but one other key thing is for you to have a way to track your progress within the organization. So you have several key metrics that you can track around the product. There are several metrics out there. I wouldn't bore you. Maybe down the line, maybe some questions will come around there. We can look at several key metrics that you can use to track your products. Yeah, I'll say some of, I mean, pretty much those 5 things that I just mentioned right now.
All right, thank you very much, Ola, for that. I hope you got your answer to the question. So guys, I want you to really ask questions because it's an opportunity. Okay, Toby, yes, you can go ahead again.
Thank you so much for this class. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Ola. Your story is quite inspiring. So I just began my own journey into product management, say, a couple of months ago, and it's been quite a very interesting journey. I run a company before now, but I thought to just transfer tech, kind of, right? I decided to find a coach that's taking me on the journey to understanding what this particular field is about. Now, I want to ask a question that is there a sort of fast lane to build a career in product management? Now, I decided to find a place to intern, say about a month or 2 ago, and it's been quite a very interesting journey. But I was thinking that is there a sort of I don't know, there's this book titled Millionaire Fast Lane. So I was thinking that is there a fast lane in a sense, to really build up the right skills, meet the right people, and build up a very solid and profitable career in this industry. Thanks.
That is a very good question. And I think I'll try as much as possible to answer to the best of, based on my experience. And like you said, you mentioned that I think you just launched a product or something. It pretty much took me down memory lane. Everyone knows Kobo 360 now. Before Kobo 360, I started a product called Quick Trucks. Right. And this was supposed to do something like what Kobo is currently doing. So take, for example, maybe I would have probably been the CEO of Kobo type company by now. But one of the reasons why that startup didn't really kick off was because I was pretty much doing a lot of things by myself. I learned the hard way that it is not enough for you to have an idea. You need to surround yourself with knowledgeable people, people that would help you grow. So going back to your question, I would say there's no fast route. However, would I say learning associations or learning programs or learning institutions, just like product profs, for example, can help you fast track the process. Joe has some experience in product management, and I know some of his easy instructors now would also have some knowledge on deep product management. They can help you pretty much help you bridge the gap in terms of you learning from their experience. But what I'm trying to drive at is one of the things that has helped me grow, that really helped me grow, especially when I was trying to transition from fraud management, was the fact that I had a mentor that shared similar experience with me. I'm not saying you have to go start hunting for someone that has similar experience with you, but for me, that was what worked, right? Someone that had similar experience with me, knew my pain point, knew where I was coming from, so I was able to learn very fast from him. And one other thing is, just to drop this here. If you know me personally, you would know that I'm a very introverted person. A lot of people don't believe it, but I am very introverted. In fact, there was a time I was telling my wife that if it wasn't for social media, you and I would probably never have been able to talk, because I would just bend my head like I won't be able to talk to you. So what I'm trying to say is that as a product manager, you need people. So you need to be able to communicate with people. You need to have a mentor that would be able to hold your hand. So for Toby, what I'll tell you is that if you want to grow really fast and really know a lot of stuff in product management, talk to product prof to start with. Have a mentor that has walked the path, that understands you, or that you may not necessarily understand you anyways, but because you want to tap in from their experience. But you need to have someone that you can always run to when there's a problem. So I'll put it at that. There are several other things that you can also do as well, but that's probably since you're looking for a product management hack, so to speak.
Thank you very much for the way you answered that question, Ola. Toby, I hope you got the right response to your question. So, from my experience, right, I've actually met people that want to find the fastest ways to transition into product management. In as much as yes, there's a way that can make it fast. However, it's a gradual process too, right? But when Ola said something about learning in a structured environment, it's very, very important. So one of my mentees some time back actually was doing self-learning. So what I realized was he actually learned what he was supposed to learn at the end or at the middle of his learning. He actually learned it from the beginning, and the beginning of his learnings were at the end. So it became confused at a point, right? So a structured way of learning can really help you fast track how you can, learn and easily transition into product management. So thank you very much for that, Ola. Okay, so I see that we still have more questions, but I can't see those questions here right now. So I hope that we'll definitely get these questions. So, but I see that Layo has a question here, and Layo says, "This has been very insightful. Thank you for this opportunity. So I have no foundation in business or tech. I'm actually in the literacy field. My question is, how can I transition into product management, and what skills will I need to develop, knowing I haven't had any experience?" Ola.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much for that question. Like I said, you do not necessarily, your current background is not a deterrent or is not a barrier for entering product management. In fact, it should be like a stepping ground, or like the step you use for transitioning. Because what I've learned over the years is product management picks several skills. You pick from several skills to pretty much determine the kind of product manager that you are. There is no perfect product manager. You would have a technical product manager that pretty much doesn't understand business skills, and the guy would always deliver on roadmap. But when you now bring that particular product manager to say, hey, we want to grow this product by 10x by this guy is going to fumble, right? And then you also have a business product manager that, hey, would help you grow your product, would help you launch and all of those things. And when it comes to technical things, this guy would always fall behind in terms of your product roadmap delivery. So there are several types of product managers. However, your current skill or the skills you acquire determine how successful you may be. So as someone that is currently in literary, I can't remember what lines she says she is at the moment. However,
yes,
if it is literary, okay, so it means you are pretty much like an orator. You maybe write things, you write maybe stories, you write poems and all of those things. I would say that is one of the most incredible skills you can have in product management. It means that you'll be able to, so there's something called, so a product manager is also like an evangelist. An evangelist means that, evangelists that preach the gospel, what they tell you, come and accept Jesus Christ. They tell you about what Jesus can do for you, or they can tell you about what Allah can do for you, or if he's an Ogboni, they'll tell you about what Shango or whatever can do for you and all of that, right? That's what an evangelist does. So as a product, for your current role, right, all you need to be able to do is to how can you transition into product management is the goal, right? However, your current skill is an essential part because you already know how to write stories. It means that when it comes to writing product requirements, maybe writing the product vision, writing epics, writing several things around products, you may be very good with presenting how a product should work. And how do you transition? I think I already mentioned some of the skills or some of the things that you would need to do or to have. The first thing is for you to have solid understanding of this particular field. Like I said, product profs can help you with that. So there are several others as well. You can learn a few things from YouTube, from several channels out there as well. Also, like I said, you need to leverage your existing skills. Like since you're on the literary cycle, it means you'll be able to tell stories well. Also, you may also want to learn technical aspects of product management as well. Like I said, it's not necessarily required, but it's very important. So you might start looking at training on technical product management, even no code product management, right? How do you transition the product without, for your customer, if you're in a B2B, for example, how do you ensure that your product being launched, the customer doesn't necessarily have to go back into development for changes to how your product behaves and all of those things. But one of the things that is very key, and I can't say this enough, is networking and mentorship. I know right now transitioning into product management is a bit difficult, and that's because even generally in Nigeria, you barely find work, right? But one of the things that I would say is you should look for internship programs. And if you're really serious about it, you probably need to be looking for internship programs that may not necessarily be paid. I think there are several out there. You can check LinkedIn. All my change of jobs have been via LinkedIn. I've never really begged to apply. Most of them have been headhunting via LinkedIn. And I think it's important for you to pay attention to your LinkedIn profile. How compelling is it? I mean, I'm not saying you should lie to it, but you can, since you're a storyteller, you can be able to tell how A and B are different, how the fact that A is the most important thing in this world. If you don't have A, you can never have B, because A comes before B. You know, all those kind of things, how you can project yourself. So pay attention to your public profile. Build a portfolio for yourself. I mean, I know someone, well, even though this person was a product designer, this guy had never worked anywhere else before, but was doing a lot of freelancing, and he was building a portfolio for himself, right? And when it was time for interviews, he could show that I did this, I have this knowledge, I have this, and all of those things. So for product management, you can build, you can start working with people. You can, if you have friends that are currently in product management, maybe you can have what I would call attaché, for example, attach with them, try to learn what they are doing, try to see, okay, how can I help you with this? What exactly are you guys all about? Like I said, mentorship and networking is very important. There are several networking groups on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on several social media channels as well. So I would say if you have all of this, maybe 2-3 months or up to a year, you should be able to get a product management job if you are really, really serious about it.
Thank you very much for, this answer is so insightful. Thank you for so much. Lyle, I'm sure you got, the answer to your question. Okay, I see in the chat box that, you all are getting value, but I really want to be sure that, you are really understanding what, we are saying here, because it's very, very important that you go back to these things, and apply it to your goals or your plans or your action plans, so to say, right? But definitely you get a recording of this session, right, within the week. So it's very, very important that you also go back to it and see how you can, infuse it into your current plans. Okay, so thank you, Ola. So guys, if you still have questions, you can drop your questions. But I have a question, right? I have a question. And the question is the tools that product managers use. The tools product managers use.
Yes, I mean, I just remember that you actually asked that question. So I wouldn't say there are specific product management related tools. I mean, I've used several tools for product management, from Jira. So Jira pretty much helps you with organizing. Pretty much, if you want to document your user story, a user story is pretty much like your product requirements. So, say for example, as a user, I want the customer to be able to click this button so that they can do this and all of those things, and then acceptance criteria to say, oh, I mean, this is the experience you want the customer to eventually have when they perform a particular function, right? So you can use Jira for documentation, and then also assigning tickets to developers, even for managing your end-to-end roadmap. A roadmap pretty much is like a document where you say you document all the features that you want to work on, maybe 3 months, 6 months, and then also have a board to say, okay, once this is complete, you move this particular feature or whatever it is to the complete board. I'm trying to, as much as possible, not to complicate, to simplify it, right? So you can use Jira. Jira is expensive, by the way. So, but there is no particular tool, right? You can use Excel for this roadmap I just mentioned. You can use Excel to document your user stories. You can use Microsoft Word. You can use PowerPoint. to pretty much project how you want your product to be. I mean, how you want the flow for the project, well, for the product. In terms of wireframing, there are several AI tools right now. In fact, I've lost count of several AI tools in the market that you can use for product management these days. But over the years, I've used a particular tool called Balsamic. That's let me just drop that in the comment section. Balsamic. What has helped me with is in terms of wireframing. So apart from writing the user stories, one of the things that I used to do back then, when I say I used to, because now, I mean, in terms of my position as a product manager, I may not necessarily be writing user stories anymore or doing a lot of wireframings and all of those things, right? But I used to use Balsamic to develop my wireframes. So I've written a user story. I want to let the designers to say, okay, to know that this is how I want this experience to be. And then they can take that particular wireframe into prototype. The prototype is like pretty much reimaging that particular wireframe. So a wireframe is like a sketch of the idea or for the user story or whatever it is. I can pretty much just sketch it and then give it to designer that will now take that sketch and make it into a proper look-alike product, right? And all of those things. There are several other tools in terms of product strategy, things like prioritization tools like Moscow that tells you to help you with prioritization. Several tools out there, but in terms of your proper documentation, which you do on your day-to-day, Excel is there, Microsoft Word is there, PowerPoint. So I wouldn't say you should bother yourself about what kind of tools. I would say whatever is available, you can use it. But as you grow into product strategy, then you probably need to now start looking at how other tools can help you.
Thank you very much, Ola. Thank you for the way you answered that question. Yes. I just want to quickly add to what you said, right? As Ola said, there are lots of tools for product managers, right? I also use Jira, right? I use Jira to manage tasks and assign tasks to developers and testers and see, manage our sprints and our backlogs and the likes. However, there are lots of tools. I also have a fellow product manager in where I presently work as a product manager. He manages other products. He does not use Jira. He actually uses a Microsoft tool, to manage his tasks and assign tasks to, me personally, at some point, I was using Miro for user persona, but I switched to Extensio for user persona, right? But right now, I just use Miro for prioritization, as Ola said. Use Miro for prioritization.
And then you also develop your flows as well. You can use Miro for developing your user flows and all that.
Yes. And in fact, when I was when we were in the development stage for product Profs, right? I shared this with because I took the first 2 classes for our present registrants in product Profs class, right? Product management class. I showed them the wireframe. I used Whimsical to create the low fidelity mockup for product Profs before we moved it to the product designer and the developer to start the work, right? So there are lots of tools and you can't be limited with these tools, but definitely as time goes by and as you gain experience, you keep improving your skills and keep seeing how you can put them into work. Thank you very much, Ola, for that. Okay, so guys, if you don't have further questions, I will just ask one last question. In fact, this question is like 2 in 1, right? For Ola, and we can just move on to other things. And I'm sure that we all have other things that we want to do this weekend. Maybe we have O1B that we want to attend. Okay, so Ola, there are lots of opportunities in product management, right? But people on this call, we want to probably know. I know this question can be very dicey, right? But people will want to know what's the range they should be expecting in terms of pay for product managers, right? And you can just give the last words to encourage them in product management. Jeffrey, I will drop the spelling in the chat box.
That's very tricky. Do you want local local pay or international?
So you can actually touch the international, because now we have guys that work in Nigeria but earn international pay.
Okay, I mean, okay, I'll just touch on both really. I think there was someone that did one research somewhere, I can't remember, for pay, for product manager pay in Nigeria. I think entry level in a proper organization, and even startups these days pay so well, right? As an entry level product manager, you are probably earning between, let's say, 200 and 250 and above. That's if you're in a really tech startup, right? For mid-level, you are probably on the north of 500 to 600. And for senior product manager, I mean, can be from maybe 900 and above. And from like a senior manager or VP or CPO, I would say it depends on your negotiation, from 900, so to speak. For international, right, I think it becomes really, really interesting for international, because for pays for product managers for international is a bit similar, very, very close to developers, right? I mean, I know developers earn crazy money out of Nigeria. You also have product managers also earn crazy money, so to speak. So for entry level, for international, you're probably looking in the range of, I would say, maybe $40,000 to $60,000 per annum. For medium, you're probably looking at 60 to 80, and then for more experience, you're probably looking from 80 to about 120, and for more senior guys, I mean, it can go as high as maybe 250 or 300,000, and if you are probably like the CEO of the company, that's a different story and all of that.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, Ola. I totally agree with you. So sometime in December, I have a friend, he's a senior software developer, right? But he's presently in the UK, right? Buhari came to Nigeria, for Christmas celebration, right? New Year's for Christmas celebration. And it was like, yo, Joe, can we like talk over a drink and let's see. It's been a while we saw, but conversation started, and it was like, Joe, I really like you guys roll. You guys don't even code. And it was giving an example where his president product manager, where he presently works in the UK, earns more than he does, and he's so confused, like, how this guy does not even code. He's the product manager and he earns more than I do. Like, yes, now you're all in the tech space, and it also depends on negotiation, just like Ola said, right? Because we all have our use in the development journey of any product, right? As much as the dev guys, that's the programmers, are important, the product managers are also very important, the product designers are important, the product marketers are important. Everybody have what they do to make that product a success. So thank you very much, Ola, for that. So guys, I'm sure that we got lots of value, right? I appreciate you a lot, Ola, for showing up to add value to enthusiasts in the product management ecosystem. So guys, you can connect with Ola on Ola Simeon on LinkedIn. That's his name. Ola can drop his LinkedIn link on the chat box so that people can connect with you. I hope you don't mind.
Let me get that.
All right. So Ola will
you send me a message and it takes me a while to respond. It's not that I'm not responding. It may take some time, but I would eventually respond. So
yes, very well, true. Yeah, so it's actually a busy person, right? But definitely would respond. You can connect with him. You can follow many of his content on LinkedIn. Ola Simeon drops content on LinkedIn around product management. I also do that too, and you can always get insight. So he just dropped his link in the chat box. You can click to follow him on LinkedIn. You can also follow Product Profs on LinkedIn. You can follow me too on LinkedIn. We can actually have a very big community together, and grow together in this ecosystem. So thank you very much, Ola Simeon, for doing this with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, so guys, shortly, I want to quickly, show you our program structure at Product Profs. So at Product Profs, we can actually help you transition into product management. We can help you upskill if you're looking to improve your skills. We can help you reskill if you're looking to move from one tech skill to the other, or even a non-tech skill and you want to move into product management. Yes, we can help you reskill, and we can help you start from the beginning, right? We have experienced professionals, people like Ola Simeon, we have senior product managers in our faculty that can, give you real life experience in your learning journey, right? And these classes are live classes and they are hands-on trainings. You get to work on a project that you can showcase to, prospective recruiters and tell them, see, this is the project I've worked on. This was what I did. These are the challenges I experienced, because in tech, it's much more than just saying you can do this. They want to see what you've done. They want to hear from you, and these are the kind of things we help you achieve, and which is, brings us to portfolio building. Ola Simeon mentioned something about building your portfolio as a techie, right? This project that you work on, at Product Profs, will help you build a portfolio that you can showcase to the world and get opportunities, right? Then I will just move on to how we support our learners, right? We have a community where our learners interact with each other, right? We presently have a class going on right now, right? And these guys interact with themselves, they interact with their trainers, they get questions, they send emails. In fact, during this week, I got an email from one of our learners, and for clarification, and I gave the response, although it was not an immediate response, but I definitely gave a response, right? You also, have opportunity to, optimize your LinkedIn session. So while we train our learners, we encourage them to create articles on Medium. We encourage them to document their journey on LinkedIn. Because me personally, as I told people that are in our class, see, I actually got 2 jobs on LinkedIn. Like my last 2 jobs were on LinkedIn. I didn't apply to any job. I was creating content around what I know on LinkedIn, and I got DMs, right? DMs to just, a casual meeting, from a casual meeting to negotiation, right? That's the power of LinkedIn, and we can actually help you achieve this, And you can also have CV review sessions, just like a session like this, where we have our students, learn how they can improve their CV. Also, you can also get a letter of recommendation. Let's say you get a job, in a tech organization, right? And you need a letter of recommendation to show that you actually learned product management with Product Profs. Yes, we can give you a letter of recommendation, provided that you pass through our faculty, right? Pass through our faculty. This is very beautiful. So I don't really want to waste much of our time. We have a lot of Owambe to do today. And our next class starts 5th of August, right? We presently have a class ongoing, and we can't admit anybody in this presently ongoing class because we want to avoid every form of confusion, right? So we have the next class starting 5th of August, and our classes are on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. West African time, that's Nigerian time. And Sundays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Nigerian time, West African time, right? If you need to gain clarity, you can, send a WhatsApp message to my team on the number you can see on your screen right now. You can send a WhatsApp message. You can check our website, which is productprofs.com. You can also send an email to the admin group, right? Admin@productprofs.com to gain clarity and get guidance. Also, one interesting thing is there's a way we've structured our learning journey at Product Profs. So the first 2 classes are free, right? The first 2 classes are free. That's the first weekend is free. You can experience the first weekend free, get the value and decide if you really want to continue, learning with Product Profs. Yes, because we are very, very particular and very confident about how we dish out value to learners and people that want to improve their skills or transition, right? Which is why we made the first 2 classes free, right? Also, I will drop the link to join the onboarding group. to the first two free classes in the chat box right now, so that you can join those first two free classes. You can also share with colleagues and friends that are interested in transitioning into product management, right? I just dropped the link in the chat box now. That's the link to join the onboarding group for the first two free classes. So guys, you can join that group. You can send a message to the team on the WhatsApp number on your screen. You can send an email to the admin group of product profs. So guys, we hope to see you in class very soon. We hope to see you start creating beautiful products that solve real life problems, right? At this point, I want to leave you all to enjoy your weekend. Go for your one bear, go on the dates, go on, relax, sleep, and enjoy yourself. Have a wonderful Saturday afternoon, and bye, guys.
My